I love to cook at home. Having good kitchenware makes all the difference in the world. Not only does good equipment make prep and cooking easier, but it makes it more enjoyable. That's why I'm a huge fan of Made In Cookware. Their wide range of products are designed to be professional quality, but for you right in your home. I have over a dozen pieces from Made In, including pots, pans, a pizza steel, knives, and even beer glasses. Yeah, they have glassware too. They have it all. Take your home cooking to the next level by upgrading your cookware by going to unitedwedrink.com/madein. Find out why pros like Sean Brock, Nancy Silverton, and Eric Repair trust Made In. Go to unitedwedrink.com/madein, that's MADEIN, and upgrade your kitchen and cooking today.
Happy hour, more like amateur hour. Welcome to United We Drink.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another new episode of the United We Drink podcast right here on unitedwedrink.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever fine podcasts are found. My name is Mike Urevich. With me, as always, are Tim Johnson, Kevin Abbott. How are you guys doing?
Go ahead, Kevin.
We're talking. We're so excited and so happy we're talking over each other. We can't wait to say something, Mike. I'm doing well. I'm overwhelmed with work and my brain is fried, and this is going to be very good for me.
Yeah, I don't know why we're all having weird technical whatever issues. Someday we're going to be a real boy podcast, and not this wooden puppet that we are right now, where we can all have the same technical competency at the same time, but we'll make it work.
Those odds aren't good.
Yeah, I would say unless we make enough money to hire a technician, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's funny is I reached out to a recording engineer for the Fake Doctors Real Friends podcast. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No.
It's Zach Braff and Donald Faison from Scrubs rewatch, and I reached out to that guy and I got like all the information from him. Like, he actually responded. He was super nice. He was super helpful, and he told me everything that they use and all of that stuff. And I was like, cool. How could I do this on a budget? And I realized I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for what we're doing, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it's just fine.
I would just like to, it seems like every third time I log on, I can't hear, or you can't hear me, or whatever. And I probably arguably have the nicest equipment out of the three of us. I just can't make it work with my computer, apparently. So.
Did you check your TCP/IP settings?
I think honestly, what I need to do is just shut it off and turn it back on again.
That's what happened. That solved most of your problems today. So
yeah, I kind of did. I think just blow into the cartridge is what I'm going
to do. Someone probably got turned on by watching that.
I sincerely hope not. I'm gonna need a butter knife, and
which is the way that you always hooked up things back in the 80s, was used, but no one even used a screwdriver to screw anything into their TV. They just used a butter knife.
The flathead screwdriver is way too far away. The butter knife is right in the kitchen, and it does the same thing.
I remember my friend Tom bringing his Nintendo over to my house when I didn't have a Nintendo, and he even brought a butter knife with him to be able to screw the connector into the old piece of furniture known as a tube TV.
I mean, if we're talking about the 80s, we had the TV trays with the Hungry Man or different style dinners, and the butter knife was right there next to the remote control. I mean, you were feet away from the TV with the butter knife. So,
That is true.
yeah.
That is true.
And I consistently butter bread on my couch still to this day. I have a toaster next to my couch just to make sure I can always have warm buttered bread.
I was
Ironic.
always curious of that choice in decoration in your living room, and that your wife allowed you to do it.
No, if you guys know anything about Allie, and Tim, you guys have not met, but Allie
Mhm.
loves her bread. If there's
Ah.
one thing, if she could take one food on a desert island, it would be a desert island. It would be bread. So we're
Desert
a bread
island.
household.
Well, I ironically actually use a flathead screwdriver to butter my bread. So,
Crisscross.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we just spent like as at the time of recording this, we just spent like 2.5 days with each other in Minnesota,
Mhm.
hanging out with you, Tim. And,
Absolutely.
so it feels funny to like hop on this, and normally we haven't seen each other's faces for a couple weeks.
Mhm.
When it's like, yeah, just a couple days ago, I saw your faces all the time. So
Mike's like almost maybe too much, but
we're
all the
getting
time.
into this a little too quickly. So
I need some space.
before we talk about that, for those of you who follow us on social media, I'm sure you saw some of that. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? Tim?
So I picked up Dogfish Head Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale. Had not had it. Decided honestly, it has been a long time since I've had anything Dogfish Head, like whatsoever. It's just not something that I seem to gravitate towards. I noticed my local adult beverage emporium keeps like the regionals in one cooler and the locals in the other, and I almost never stray into the regional cooler. Not because I'm anti-regional, just because usually I kind of know what I want. Lately, it's just been that Summit 4-pack that I talked about before. But I saw this, I thought, oh, I will give it a try. Yeah, it's all right. It's not nearly as juicy as I think I was expecting, but it's not. It's not offensive by any means. You can definitely taste the hippie, so it's good.
So I was at my local liquor store today, and I saw the Grateful Dead. It's like a citrus lager that they have, and I almost picked that up, but my wife isn't terribly into beers like that. So I was like, okay, 60 minutes right next to it. I'll just grab one of those. I've had that in the last year or so.
Mhm.
Best by December 25.
Ooh.
So that was a no-go. And then I was just looking, and I saw an empty space where Sierra Pale Ale 12 packs were listed on sale for $18. And I was like, oh, but there isn't any. But this space was all the way at the bottom of the cooler. So I bent down and I saw one all the way in the back. So I grabbed that, and it was within date code, and it's the National Park Foundation ones. Oh, it's bottles too, by the way.
I'm impressed you could bend down at all after a weekend, frankly.
I
No,
actually feel all right now.
No, I mean that's an adventure for someone in their mid 40s. I mean the willingness to bend down and look at the bottom row of a cooler. I mean, listen, you should deserve some kudos for that. Yeah, I noticed your pale ale as you were drinking it from the bottle, Mike, and I'm jealous. But I am drinking our Criterion Lager, Barrel of Monks new lager that we released while we were hanging out in Minneapolis. So, drinking this, it's good. It's a little sweeter than I wanted it to be. That's the only thing I can say about it. I think it's otherwise exactly what we wanted, but just a touch sweeter which makes it a little less drinkable to me.
Can you put that can back up? You flashed it so shortly. This is going to be really good for our Spotify listeners. But I like that artwork. It's a little bit of a departure for you guys, but I think that looks fantastic.
So for most of our beers, we have kind of a template for like our core beers.
Mhm.
And then for our non-core beers, we do a little more graphic forward, and we just have a different template for those. And this was actually an idea that I had, and then I asked Ben, our person that does our labels, to whip it up and make it look like a blueprint. And I'm not sure how much of this he did himself and how much of this he pulled from different sources, but I like it. I like the way it came down.
Even pulling from sources means that he put it together and designed it.
He certainly. Well, now that we're talking about our cans, I really love this one.
Kevin is pulling a can out.
This is the one he did for Pacific Edge, our West Coast style Pilsner. And I really like that. And then you have like the mountains and stuff around there, like the
Watch
painted
out for falling hops.
Yeah. So I think that one turned out really well. I'm really, and also the beer is one of my favorite beers we've ever done. And I'll be cracking that open in about 2 minutes.
Well, nothing screams Pacific like Florida. I am also notoriously bad at geography. So
the other Pacific coast. That's what it's the state motto. Florida, the other Pacific coast.
It's not Florida, America's Wang.
No, that one it's kind of like the subtitle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we got to spend last weekend with Tim in Minnesota, the Twin Cities. I wouldn't say just Minneapolis because we spent a good amount of time in St. Paul as well. And it was the first time that we had ever met with Tim in person. As crazy as that might sound, like I've known Tim for at least 6 years.
Longer than that. Yeah,
probably. I'm just thinking of like the pandemic is kind of like this cutoff in a lot of memories, and I'm like, I knew him during the pandemic, so it was just where I went back to. And the fact that, I have never met him in person was pretty crazy. So a few months ago, Kevin and I decided, hey, let's see if we can find a weekend to go up and visit Tim. He talks ever so highly of the Twin Cities. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, because I absolutely have wanted to go. And my wife has told me, like, you should go. And I think that Kevin's wife told him, you should go. And we found a weekend that worked, and we goed. So
what I'm hearing is your wives wanted you out of the house.
Pretty much.
That's possibly true. So very loosely, I think we should talk about all the incredible beer and breweries we went to, all the places that Tim had been talking about forever. And man, did they deliver almost to a beer every single place that we went. And then within that, we can talk about the terribly self-indulgence of just us hanging out and having a good time together, so that we can keep that within the framework of a beer-centric podcast. But not to spoil anything, the fact that Tim has talked so highly about where he's from and with such pride, one of my favorite quotes from Penn Jillette is, circumstances of birth are nothing more than random and never should be a source of pride or shame. And that always has meant to me that where you're from, the country you're from, the city you're from, shouldn't really be a source of pride. It was just random that you were there. And when you're living in Florida, that's a really, really great quote, because there's nothing to be proud of. But when we went to Minneapolis and hung out there, I was like, oh, I can see being proud of being from here. I get it. I kind of get it now. That makes a lot of sense. And I have spent a not insignificant amount of time since being home showing Allie houses in your neighborhood on Zillow. Showing, see this house? This is a nice house. It's not nearly as expensive as it would be to be here. And by the way, in this neighborhood, I walked by a church with a Black Lives Matter banner and a pride flag out front. So we'd be very comfortable there as well. So yes, it not to bury the lead, but it was as advertised in every way, shape, or form.
I mean, that was my secret plan as much as I made you guys walk, right? So we took the light rail, which worked out great for us. We were able to get to a lot of places just via the light rail, but it did in sometimes require a little bit of walking and making you walk through my neighborhood and see all of that. That was a little bit by design, just so you could experience what that was like.
So one thing I have to throw out there, though, to Kevin, about that quote is Tim is not from Minneapolis. Tim chose to live in Minneapolis. So therefore, that whole thing is out the window anyway. So he can have the pride in the place that he lives in.
You found a loophole. You found a loophole. Yeah. Good job, Mike. That's why I keep you around.
At least I'm good for something. Doing this podcast is not it. Yes. I do want to say that neighborhood just blew me away. Because it just, it's so goddamn green, first of all.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not like that all the time, but like bunch of trees, you're always going to get me. Tree-lined streets will always get me. And all of the anti-ice signs that were, a lot of them looking very weathered on lawns or in windows, like the fact that those have not gone away just speaks to the resiliency of the people. And that is fantastic. The main drag through your neighborhood with like some stores that seem like bygone things, like independent hardware shops. And I mean, pretty much independent everything.
Yeah.
I don't recall, like, other than the gas station, a chain on your little drag there. You have a library, a branch of your public library there. It was just everything that I think of as a little walkable neighborhood being. And yeah, just a pretty quick stroll. I mean, I guess not quick stroll, but easy access to the light rail. Which I was absolutely so happy about. That light rail was incredible and goddamn cheap. But let's talk.
That's so important.
No, but as we walked around the neighborhood, Kevin and I would find ourselves suddenly it was just the two of us, and we would turn around, and Mike was a block away looking at birds.
I was also just taking pictures in your neighborhood, of people's houses.
Well, let's talk about the first brewery we visited on Friday night when we got in, and I have to say, I'm sorry, Thursday night when we got in. Thank you, Mike. So Tim met us just off the light rail when we got into downtown Minneapolis, and we met. It was amazing. Once again, seeing him for the first time, giving him a big hug. That was I'll never forget that. That was a great moment, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it out loud.
He yelled something at us as we were walking off the station platform, and we didn't know that he was there. And I was like, who the fuck is yelling at us? And then I'm like, it's Tim.
I believe what I shouted was, "You two fellas look like you're not from around here."
That sounds about right.
Yeah. No, I just, Kevin, I would agree. I will forever remember seeing your faces for the first time and realizing, okay, you do actually, you're even more attractive in person than you are over the video.
I mean, it was impossible not to be, but so we got together. We had our meeting, which was lovely, and then we walked to Sisyphus. which was an incredible walk through the city. And one of the places that, Tim, you've been talking about forever. Obviously, we've had Sam on the show. So it was a really cool connection for us on multiple levels. And I think the first round we had there, I remember I had you had the Japanese rice lager.
Yep.
I can't even remember what I had my first beer, what Tim, what Mike had, but I was blown away by the beers immediately. And I just remember loving just sitting there going, man, they make good freaking beer here. And all the beer styles that I saw were like, English IPAs,
That's what
Japanese
I had
rice lager. There you go.
Yeah.
And it was just styles that I don't see down here done impeccably well. And it blew my mind.
Yeah, I had the British summer ale as my first one, and then I can't remember. Did you have the Kentucky Common, or did I have the Kentucky Common?
I think Kevin's first was the Kentucky Common. Yeah.
So actually, I'm pulling up the draft list right now. Yes, I had the Kentucky Common rye lager. It was incredible. My second beer, I had the Unky Dunky, the Dunkelweiss, which I also loved.
I had the Holy Pale then as my second beer, the pale ale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had the Diet Right. I think an RC Cola. No, I don't remember what my second beer is. It's not.
You had a Sam's.
Oh, that's right. I had a Sam's. Yeah. I mean, it's not fair because it's literally on my way home from work, so I stop in and see Sam about every other week. So,
but we had multiple different styles. Some of them kind of classic styles you don't see every day, brewed to perfection, right? Bartender was just kind and welcoming. There was a cool group of people behind us mentioning Simpsons quotes that I could just kind of hear in the distance. And the place was a freaking comedy club that, once again, if you listen to the show, we had Sam on, but to be there in person and see the setup. And then he was nice enough to give Tim the keys and let us walk in the back and check out the brewing operation. And I was like, wow, they're kicking this quality of beer out of this small production facility with a lot of retrofitted dairy equipment, which I'm guessing, I don't know, but retrofitted equipment that I was just going, man, I don't know if we make beer this good and we have, a 20 barrel Newland system. It just, that was the perfect way to start the trip. Cause I was like, oh man, it can't stay this quality the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. Cause like I told you guys before when Sam was on that, it's one thing to be a brewery that has comedy or has an event or whatever, but you got to peek in at the comedy space and see that it really is almost a comedy club that brews its own beer. Like it's almost the reverse of that. Like, we didn't go in, it was open mic night. We didn't need to see all that mess, but we peeked in and you can literally see like the comedy club feel in there. And like when the
little brick wall.
Yeah, and when the show got out, you saw just how many people were back in the comedy club that weren't even there for like the brewery experience; they were there for the comedy experience, and so that was really cool to be able to show you guys something that I felt like I was saying, but now you actually got to understand it.
It's also, and this to me was the theme of most of the breweries that we went to, is the vibe of the place based off of the building that they were in that contributed so much character to the place. And for our very first one to be this beautiful brick building on a like tech college campus or something.
Yeah, it's right next to Dunwoody Tech and right across from the sculpture garden too. So you also got to see the famous Spoon Bridge and Cherry as we walked there, which is great.
And like that brick continues inside of the building, and the brewery itself, which obviously isn't a part of the consumer experience, just reminds me of so many like basement breweries. Like the one that I think of immediately is Magnolia in San Francisco, where if you go to their brewery in the Haight and you're in their brew pub, there's grates on the floors in the pub that look down into the brewery, and it just almost, because there's no windows in that space, that it just made you think that you were subterranean even though you weren't. And I just loved that close, intimate vibe in there. Such a great space, such great beer. Sam's such a wonderful, welcoming, warm person. Like he was just texting with me right before got on the show. He was asking if I saw any fun birds while we were there, and he was like, and I don't mean that in any slang term.
No. But yeah, shout out to Grace, the bartender that took care of us. She was so welcoming and did not find it weird at all that she was handing over the keys to the brewery to three yahoos to go back there and just check it out.
Poke around a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went there. Obviously, we loved it, right? And Tim, you don't even have to really go wax poetic about it because you've done it many times in the past. And then we went to Bulldog, which is not a brewery, but just to get some grub late night and have some great local beer. That's a place. It wasn't a brewery, but they had a great beer selection.
Holy shit!
So many locals, and really good food that we could grab at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it was not a brewery, but a great stop for a beer nerd.
So many locals, but also Allagash. Like it's like one of the few places that have Allagash on tap in town. So it was for not being a very large tap tower. It was a really good mix.
I have been to so many places that are small independent restaurants that think of themselves as having a great draft list, and it is like it pales in comparison to that. Like I'll see 8 to 10 beers, and like that looked like it was at least 20, maybe.
It was probably 18 to 20, but it was like probably half local, but then like imports, and I don't mean like Heineken, I mean like
Polliner.
Yeah, Polliner. You're right, Polliner, and then Allagash, and just a little bit of everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, then the next day, Friday, we got up early. We went to Tim's neighborhood. We played some baseball. And
let's start off with your bagel. Let's make sure we shout out Ace's Bakery.
Little independent bagel shop in Tim's neighborhood. Nokomis.
Yes,
I said it right. There we go.
You said it right that time.
Let's go. All right. Only open, what was it, Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sundays?
Yeah.
It's not every day, and until they sell out. And excellent bagel, had a seasonal cream cheese on it that was like mashed peas and herbs. It was great to get my belly filled for some sporting activities.
And I had a lox and cream cheese like bagel sandwich, which was awesome. It was really, really good. I was so happy that was a perfect thing that I wanted for breakfast that day, and to go to a local spot to get it instead of just grabbing something, even downtown, which there are great places downtown, by the way. But that was a really, really good jumping off point. But yes,
that little patio we sat on too. I don't know if you noticed that little sidewalk patio thing. That's a City of Minneapolis patio. That's not a patio for either of those businesses. Like the city.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So cool. And then we got our stuff together. We went and got a bucket of baseballs from Dick's Sporting Goods. Tim scrounged up a couple bats. We all brought our gloves. I do have to mention that when we were getting ready for this trip and packing up, and I think we've talked about it on the show, maybe we haven't, but we talked about the fact that we were going to play some baseball, and Mike sends a text message to us going, "Are we really doing this? Am I really packing my baseball glove for this whole deal?" And Tim and I, like, within seconds, are like, "Yup, we're freaking doing this."
Yeah. No, we're not just blowing smoke. This is happening. To me, that was like 90% of the reason you were coming here.
Some Mike's Big League Chew that he brought. I got a bag of sunflower seeds. Mike got a bag of Big League Chew. We got a bucket of balls, and we headed out to a baseball complex, for the lack of a better term. There was like 7 fields in this area that Tim brought us to. Unfortunately, only one of them was not locked. And it was one of the ones that had like 329-foot fences down the left and right field line, which we had no absolute shot of getting the ball in the air anywhere near. So the home run derby was out, but the 3 of us took turns pitching to each other, smacking the ball around. I love that Tim brought and used to great effect a wooden bat, Wade Boggs signature. And for a couple hours and a couple rounds, we played catch and then hit the ball around. I know, Mike, you put a little video out on our social media feed, but that does not do it justice. We were out there for several hours.
Yeah, we were.
And it was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life, period. And I've been to Cedar Point multiple times. This was great.
Not that I didn't enjoy the rest of the trip, but you guys could have literally got on a plane and left us there, and I would have called that trip a success. Like, just from that point, to me, like, I was so giddy. To me, like, it felt like it wasn't, but it felt like the impetus of the trip, right? Because it started from me sharing an Instagram reel with Mike and saying, "Oh, we should do this." And so it's like, well, no, this is happening. And if you would have just left there, I would have been like, that was enough. That was enough for me. Like, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it seems so dumb to say, but when, you're a middle-aged man, sometimes just getting out with middle-aged men don't do stupid things like that with friends. And it was the best.
Like, I remember, this is over 10 years ago now. Like, Kevin and I and a group of other beer-related people used to get together and play pickup basketball. And we did that for like 6 months, maybe. And not a single one of those came even close to the amount of fun that I had in Minneapolis playing baseball with you two. Like, just...
There's something about baseball, and there's something about just I love basketball. I was a better basketball player than I was any other sport, and I played it constantly. Yeah. But there's something about baseball. There's something about, like, when they make movies in Hollywood, there's something timeless about The Sandlot, and there's not necessarily an adjacent basketball or football movie. So I think that there's something about doing that, especially a game that usually has to be played with a lot of people, right?
Other people. It's way more social. Yeah. I can go shoot free throws by myself at the Y, right?
But like, my dad would tell me stories about getting together and playing with his friends, and they only had like 6 kids. So, like, right field was foul territory, and you just played the left side of the infield, and you had an outfield. You know what I mean?
Ghost runner. You don't have a ghost point guard, right?
Pitcher's mound's out for first base, and you do stuff like that. And listen, there's only 3 of us, so we couldn't do that. But just going out there, and one of the things I will give you guys really a lot of credit for, and by the way, people listening to this, the few that are, do this with your friends. If you've got a couple buddies in your, just go and do something like this. Whether, if your thing's not baseball, maybe it's basketball, maybe it's something else, or just go throw a football around. I don't know. Maybe you're Tommy Wiseau and you just have a football and you can throw it around. But also, none of us were critical of each other. Like, we knew we're guys in their mid 40s who might not be the most eloquent when they swing the bat or throw the ball. There was no judgment. We all went out there and had fun. And just whatever happened. And we also didn't get injured. And I think all that together made that the perfect afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I told you both that I was actually very pleasantly, not surprised, but just pleased that we were all of a similar skill level. Like, no one was clearly better than the other two.
Yeah.
Which made it great because we all could feel dumb and confident and everything at the same time. And so it really felt like, like exactly same skill level. No one was hitting moonshots. No one was striking out more than me, I guess. But
on camera.
On camera.
I missed plenty of ones, but on camera, you were the only one who swung and missed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I swung out of my shoes on that one, but no, it was so. Even if Kevin almost killed me with a long drive,
I had to say that I hit a ball straight up the middle, real hard. I'll give myself credit on this one. I connected and hit a hard line drive, chest, like middle of the sternum to the pitcher. Tim barely got out of the way of it, and it was so dangerous in my mind that I had to go out and give Tim a hug. I dropped the bat, hugged him, and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't try to kill you." And all this, by the way, happened as Mike was chasing a ball down to the outfield, so he didn't even see any of that.
I just at one point after I got the ball and kind of tossed it back in, I was like, "Why are they hugging?" They're like, "Are we switching it up now?" Like, I didn't know. And I still didn't even know until we went and had lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
I did not like. Thankfully, I am more spry than I thought I was, because Kevin really got a hold of that thing. It was a really good hit. It was just a really good hit, like literally. Like it was gonna take me out, so thankfully I got out of that way. It did scare me. He felt bad. I just started giggling, probably just because I was afraid for my life, but also because like I know he didn't mean it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and that was the closest any of us got to getting seriously hurt. So that was the best part of that as well.
I also have to throw out, because this is a big difference between being in Florida and being in Minnesota, is I was so overly concerned too about sunburn, because I am a pale, pasty white person. And so you had some extra sunscreen. I was applying it over and over again. I was like, at no point did I ever feel like the sun was overbearing on me out there too, despite that it was a very sunny day.
It was aside from the wind, and the wind wasn't like terrible, but aside from the wind, it was like it had literally been 90 degrees 2 days before you guys got here. So the fact that it was like 70s and sunny, it was perfect.
Yeah. It was such the weather was absolutely perfect to take a break from our 90-degree, like 85% humidity days that we are experiencing here.
So guys, we were out there playing baseball just in our glory. Something that I'm now itching. When can I do this again? Right. I'm jumping out of my skin. I want to do this again. And at one point I realized, as I was halfway through my bag of David sunflower seeds, and I had not brought any water at all, or a Gatorade or anything, that I was incredibly thirsty. And we finished up. We played for a long time, and all I was thinking about was, man, how good is this first beer going to be that we are going to have after this and get some lunch? And I don't want to move on. If you guys want to talk more about the baseball, please do.
No.
But we made our next stop, right, and to get a beer, and went to Town Hall, the bowling alley, right, which is right in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean it's my regular. Obviously, the GM knows me, so yeah.
Yeah, and talk about another place they don't miss. We each had a couple beers. And so we tried at least 6 beers between the three of us. I think I might have had 3 beers at that place, because I downed my first lager so quickly because I was in such need of hydration. Every beer, fantastic. The food, incredible. That was one of the coolest places I've been to. And Mike was out there just taking photos of the place because it looked so cool.
The Town Hall Lanes, it's a brewery tap room for Town Hall in a bowling alley. It was, I mean, again, the character of the building that this place just had the moment that you walk. Saloon doors. We walked in the bowling alley side through saloon doors. And it was like, this is going to be perfect when you're doing that. And please go to my Instagram at Mike Loves Beer. I posted a carousel of pictures that I took in there. It's such a great moody atmosphere in there. And Town Hall was one of the places that I wanted to go to. Like one of the places that of people who we didn't know. Like I had like Sam from Sisyphus was on the show. Eric from Black Stacks on the show. Like we were going to go to those places, but I had no idea of anyone from Town Hall. But I've had Town Hall beers in the past at bottle shares and was like, this is damn good stuff. And I always remembered the name of that brewery, and meeting Tim and hearing him talk about them more just reaffirmed it to me. Like I need to drink Town Hall beers when I go there. And the fact that there's one in his neighborhood and it was such a cool looking one made it so great. And I had the Muni Golden Lager and their Maibach, along with some killer chicken curry tacos that were on mini naan breads instead of tortillas. Like the food was banging too. We had nachos that we shared. Like I couldn't have been more thrilled by the experience at Town Hall Lanes.
I'm really glad you shouted out your Instagram, because if you weren't going to, I was, because the pictures that you took, to me, you did an amazing job of capturing the essence of that place. Because, well, first of all, it is a bowling alley, and it's a full-on bowling alley, right? Like you would not know from the outside. Like when we were walking up, Mike's like, "That's not like a full-size bowling alley, is it?" And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I thought it was one of those mini ones, like that you see old men do. Like, but no, it's like 10 lanes of full-size lanes. They could have filmed The Big Lebowski in there and gotten the same vibe from that movie. Maybe an even darker vibe. But
yeah, well, because the thing I love about that place in particular is it is full parts bowling alley, dive bar, and restaurant at the exact same time. Like it's all three experiences all in one, right?
And they do each well.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't bowl, so I can't. I actually probably shouldn't say. I'm just assuming, but the dive bar food aspect, I had the same. Because Mike and I tend to, anytime Mike and I go to a restaurant, we tend to order the same thing. It's
like 90% of the time.
It's ridiculous. When we were on the train, this is a little bit out of order, but Mike and I were on a train to meet you at one point, and some random guy just walked up to us and goes, "You guys are brothers or cousins?" And they just walked off the train, and neither, and I don't think we look all that much alike, but we do order similarly, and we both had the curry naan tacos. If you are anywhere around there, just go there to have them because they are that good.
Yeah, I mean, Town Hall, the original location is the Seven Corners that we went by on the train. We didn't go to. I told you about Town Hall Tap. I told you about Town Hall Station. And each place has a slightly different menu with some overlap, which is kind of fun. It's not like you're getting the exact same experience in each place, but you are getting the same Town Hall beer. And boy, Mike, I've talked about Masala Mama for a long time, so I'm glad you got a chance to try that one. And it's little brother West Bank.
I was just going to mention that because I have the tap list pulled up, and the West Bank was fantastic. The Masala Mama was fantastic. I had a really, really good Scotch ale, Hoppin' King Scotch ale.
Oh, that's right.
That was lovely. It was just so good. I know. Also, I believe, Tim, you had a Super Strike lager. Yep. You picked that one up and shared it with us. I will say that what I loved about this was that the three of us going to all these breweries, obviously we shared with each other, but to me, it was like an adult flight because each one of us got a full-size beer, shared every one of them, and then each one usually got a second beer. So it was a flight. We got 6 beers that we got to try every time, but did not have to, make someone pour us a flight or drink 6 full beers ourselves and then be incoherent.
Yeah, but it was literally every single time you got a beer, you took your first sip and then you handed it to the other two to taste. which was great. So I do apologize for all of the communicable diseases that you guys now have. But
I do have a cold sore right here on my lip, just so you know.
yeah, that is from the gonosyphilis I have. But no, it was really nice for you guys to be able to do that. So we did town hall. You got to see, and again, shout out to Matab, GM there, who literally we go in and those two order, and she just asked him, "Do you want a West Bank?" She like she didn't even ask, like she didn't even let me order. She just got my beer because it's literally 4 blocks from my house, if that.
Yeah.
Right.
You're a lucky man. I mean, to have a place like that with that high quality of beer and that kind of atmosphere and that kind of service, that's just lovely. I mean, I would kill for that. I have nothing even in that stratosphere. And it's another, another point on the board for you, Tim. And you once again, you were not lying about how much we were going to enjoy this. Should we talk and move on to our next move that day, which was to Blackstack?
Yes. So we hop on the light rail. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Our next stop was to Minnehaha Falls.
The falls, yeah.
Yeah. You walked us around your neighborhood. We went to Longfellow Gardens, apparently a former spot of a circus
and zoo, yeah.
that is now like restored pasture, and then over to the falls and walking through the park there, and how freaking busy that park was for like 12:30 on a Friday afternoon.
On a Friday, not a Saturday, a Friday, yeah.
Yeah, Friday at lunchtime, and the restaurant over there was packed. There's people getting beers, which all parks should have a spot where people can get beers and enjoy themselves as long as they don't fucking litter, which means that Florida can't have those things. But what an awesome park. And the fact you walked us through your neighborhood with the Minnehaha Creek. It is creek, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it just all of a sudden stops and drops off. And we're like, oh, okay. There's some gradual, like, nope, that is exactly what happened.
I mean, it looked like almost still water until we get to the falls. And that's not even the most raging that the falls were, but it was definitely, I was glad that, because Mike, you'd seen pictures, Kevin, you hadn't. It was hard to do it justice, so I was glad that it lived up to the hype. I
famously don't like to be outside. I like air conditioning. I rarely like, hey, I want to go for a hike. Now, listen, if I'm in San Francisco or, I want to go to the Muir Woods, yeah, that's amazing. I want to do that. I want to explore when I'm traveling. Part of the problem is Florida just kind of sucks for a lot of these kind of things. Maybe if I still lived in Michigan, it would be different. But I was in awe of that area, like watching that slow rolling creek turn into this incredible waterfall. I took a video of it. I sent it to my family. I'm like, this is beautiful. There was a waterfall. And I have to ask my dad about this, but I don't have to because he'll respond to this video. My dad used to take me to a sledding spot when I was a kid, probably my son's age. And there was a waterfall there that in the summer it was a waterfall. And obviously it froze in the winter. I want to know where that was because the next time I go home, I want to go there again. But that was like, and it was not as impressive. It was not as big of a drop off. It was a different kind of vibe to it. But that I had a nostalgic pop for that. I just took a video of it. And at some point I just wanted to kind of like take it in. And I was in awe. It was really, really cool. It felt good to be that impressed and happy with nature.
Well, and the fact that it's Minneapolis proper, right? You're not in the city. Because literally, as we walked from the falls to the light rail, I was like, hey, look, you can see those trees gnawed by beavers. Yeah, 100 yards from a house, beavers are gnawing trees. 100 yards from a city house, 50 yards from the light rail tracks. Beavers are gnawing trees. Yeah. So it was important. That was on Mike's list of things to see, and one of the things I really wanted to show you guys. I showed you the lake as when we went to Dick's to get the baseballs, and I got that's not even a mile to the west of my house, and to the not even a mile to the east of my house is the falls. Like I live kind of in that perfect little area.
I do want to say one thing to Kevin about I don't like to be outside. I was absolutely that way until I went to the Pacific Northwest for the first time. And then I was like, oh, I get why people like to be outside. Like, it's not like what we have down there. And like, I crave being outside in areas that are not this temperature that we are dealing with, because there's just something to connecting to nature that I can't put into better words than just you just need to do it. And being in a comfortable place like that is just a way to kickstart that feeling and make it grow even more.
Well, and you were pointing out all of the names of birds I had not even heard before. Like, there was a really cool thing as we were going through the neighborhood where a bunch of blue jays were like fighting off attacking a hawk in my neighborhood. Yeah. Like, again,
in a neighborhood, a residential
neighborhood in the city proper. Blue jays are defending their territory against a hawk.
I don't get very many hawks in my residential neighborhood. So to just see a tree, like, you're hearing this freak out going, like, I know blue jay sounds, and I'm like, okay, where's this coming from? And just to look up into a tree right in front of a house and to see a hawk being like while blue jays are just pelting it, I was like, what the hell? Like, this is insane. And it's amazing. I saw an eagle fly over the baseball field when we were playing. Yeah. Like, seeing robins take me back to Philly, because like robins were all over the place, and they're always the first sign of spring. When you start seeing robins come back, you know that spring is just about there. And there were golden finches. There was a lot of stuff that I'm used to, but like, I didn't get to check off any lifers from my list. But I mean, the bird activity in your neighborhood was just stellar.
I was disappointed that we didn't see any turkeys, because this time of year there's usually a lot of turkeys hanging out at the fire station across the street from me. But so we took our little nature hike excursion, and then we went up to the light rail, and then we headed over to St. Paul to Blackstack. Kevin is on mute, but I'm sure he's saying something very insightful.
Sorry, guys. This is what I want to talk about at Blackstack, was that it was obvious in looking at that menu that they were very haze forward. A lot of hazy beers, collaboration with other breweries. The first thing we all did was get some form of lager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I pulled the menu up. I got the Mexican lager, and I don't remember which one you got it, but they had the Slopes House Pilsner and the Morning lager beer, and all of them were fantastic.
Yeah.
All of them were really, really good. But the best beer I tried was, I think, Tim, your second beer, which is a Take a Hike.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. It was a fantastic pale ale. But what I'm looking at here, and I can't believe I did not realize this, is probably because I was, starting to become intoxicated at the time. They have a beer called Tramps Like Us.
Yeah.
Which is a double IPA, which is a reference to Bruce Springsteen, that I did not get. And I would have got that freaking hazy IPA if I would have known that. Not that it would make it any better, but I still would have done it. I got one of the hazies, and now I can't remember which one it was. I enjoyed it. But overall, while the beers were fantastic, I liked the lagers. I thought the hazies were solid, but the lagers I loved, because that's mostly what we had. I just like the atmosphere there. That was like a brewery that many of us have seen, where like you're in the brewery for, it's a big warehouse. The tanks are behind the bar. I think a lot of us has seen this setup before. But from like the mismatched crazy furniture to like the potted plants everywhere and the giant TV, I just really liked being there. I liked the vibe, and it was much more welcoming than many of those same style breweries that I've been to in the past. And it helped that the beer was really, really good.
Now, I want to say the saying mismatched furniture could be taken as a slight because we worked in a brewery that had a tap room in the
Yeah.
brewery that had mixed matched furniture that was terrible. This was like real furniture. This
Yeah.
was like couches and chairs that have cushions and like
Comfortable.
the first thing that I noticed when we walked in, I said, "Look at all the plants!" Like it just makes it feel welcoming,
Yeah.
like because people have plants in their homes, and it made it feel like a giant home. Like I don't mean this as a slight. It had a little bit of an IKEA feel to me, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
with all of the furniture, and then you add all the plants into it. I was like, this is a huge space that they have made not feel so huge by like all the plants just make it feel like you have these individual pod areas to yourself. And I think that that is brilliant planning from and if that wasn't the intention, take that and run with it as your intention.
I mean, it is a huge space. It was the biggest space we
Yes.
were in.
Yeah, it's massive.
all weekend.
By
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that they took that warehouse space, temperature controlled too. So not a fucking hot box if on days that you have hot weather like breweries down here have been. It's the best example of the in the brewery tap room I feel like I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really nice. And once again, I mean, Tim, you were the one that told me that they're really known for the hazies, right? That's
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
what-
I mean, they're the quote unquote merchants. Yeah.
and that made me feel even better to have all those lagers and go, oh, these are all amazing. Because, that's great. Like, listen, we all know that you can make a shitty hazy IPA, right? It's not a cheat code. Not everyone can do them well. But there's something to be said for the craft of making a really good hazy. Might be a little bit easier than making a really great lager, right? And it might be fair to say in some way, shape, or form. So the fact that I know that, they're those base simple beers were as good as they were, and then having one of the hazies and going, yeah, this is perfect. This is what I'm looking for with a hazy IPA. I was just kind of emboldened by that. Like it's really nice to see a brewery that's known for one thing, but they do other things really, really well too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're like Slopes is maybe one of their most awarded beers.
That was what the first beer I had, and it was so killer. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because they are so known for their hazies, they are underrated here in the Twin Cities as far as a lager brewery. A lot of people to think, oh, they're hazy and only hazy because, I mean, beer nerds. Their first impression of you 10 years ago is their impression of you still. But yeah, I mean, it's they're doing a lot of things well there, which is really nice. Yeah, it was, and again, this is still Friday. This is Friday afternoon. It's still Friday during a work day,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like packed in there, but they were doing pretty decent business.
Now, the World Cup had started that day too. So that I believe that became a recurring thing throughout the rest of the weekend is like we were seeing a lot of people out and about because they're watching football matches.
Yeah.
So which is great to see too. Like that Minneapolis is a sports city. The Twin Cities are a sports Twin Cities.
It was also great that Tim took a video of Mike doing pull tabs which
Yeah.
was awesome. Did you put that up on the social media platforms there, Mike?
Tim never sent me the video itself, but it was
Oh,
on it was on Tim's Instagram. If
I'll
he
yeah, I'll share that with you. It's got almost 2,400 views, so people are liking it for sure.
and Tim's account's private too, so he doesn't let just anyone look at
Uh,
his stuff.
yeah. So yeah, I will share that. But it was fun for you to experience Midwest culture. Pull tabs for folks who don't know. Very common in Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe a little bit in a couple other places, but we call it cardboard crack. It's literally like if a
It's
slot machine.
gambling.
Yeah, yeah. It's like if a slot machine were on a piece of cardboard, and it's all affiliated with charities. So a lot of times, like 90% of the time, it's for youth hockey or whatever. Uh, they've only recently started to do the pull tab vending machines. Usually, it's you just go. There's like a whole separate little booth within a bar, or whatever, and you go up and you buy them from someone standing behind a booth. Mike got to experience the vending machine version. But he did get to gamble $2 whole and won $0 whole.
I mean, that's gambling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. People, was it Eric that was telling us that he's like seen people do like 40, $50 worth of
Well,
those things?
750. I at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday in Shakopee, I saw a couple drop $750 on pull tabs.
Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
So, yeah. Yeah, but it was fun. They had a wall of spam. It was definitely Minnesota to a T.
And then we went to dinner at Stub and Herbs, right?
Yep. Well,
After that.
Yeah, dinner, lunch, whatever. Yeah. It's
Well,
Seven Herbs.
Yeah, I mean, by that time, right? Because
I guess
lunch,
it was dinner. Yeah, because
yeah.
we did lunch at Town Hall. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a cool little spot. Once again, not a brewery, but had a really good beer selection. And I love the ghost pepper cheese curds, which you guys didn't love because you said they weren't actually cheese curds; they were just squares of cheese.
Yeah.
I said, "Fuck that! I don't care." They melted in my mouth and were very spicy, and I love them. And the food was very good. Now, by this time, I will say this: I got at Black Stack some THC gummies, and I'd taken one. And about this time, it started kicking in. So for the next couple hours, things get a little fuzzy for me. And I know the places we went, but I don't know what I drank or really what happened. At one point, Mike said to me, "Kevin, I'm really impressed that you have not become nonverbal." And I said, "Huh?" And that was about it.
But yeah, no, Stub and Herbs is one of those kind of classic original craft beer bars without being branded as a craft beer bar. They're on the East Bank University of Minnesota campus. It's for all intents and purposes a college bar. It's a 9 iron away from Huntington Bank Stadium. Like it's right there, but they were just one of the first early adopters of the craft beer movement in the Twin Cities. So it's great that they're right on the light rail, and it took me back to drinking 15 years ago.
I was super stoked that I got to have a Nordisk there, which like I know is an iconic beer from the brand Grain Belt. I know that it's not like the way it used to be anymore, but August Shell carries on the history of that brand, and to get to be able to drink a beer that I know has like lineage and that the brewery takes so much care into that recipe and doing things the way that it used to be was really awesome. And I want to jump away from that bar for just a second because you mentioned the stadium.
Yeah.
I love the fact that every sport there is accessible by rail.
Yeah.
Like the stadiums for five five major sports, the baseball, football, hockey, basketball, soccer are all off of the light rail. You have
Mhm.
the college football stadium right off of the
Mhm.
light rail. You have the minor league baseball stadium in St. Paul that isn't very far off of the light rail. Like, just fantastic access to those sporting attractions by public transportation. Kudos to you, Twin Cities, for that.
I thought you were giving Tim the credit for that. I thought you were good job, Tim.
Yeah,
Way,
good
Yeah,
way
job,
I
to
Tim.
do that.
yeah, I
I've
chair
heard that
Metro
you're
Transit.
responsible.
Yeah, no. Um, yeah, no, yeah. Also on the campus is the hockey rink, and the men's basketball is also right there, super close. Like everything is right there.
We we did get a little bit screwed by the fact that the train was so close to the stadiums a little bit later in this exact evening. Not to
Yeah.
jump ahead too much,
Yeah,
but just to give a little foreshadowing, as they
yeah.
say. Um, yeah, if you guys want to talk about going to the next breweries, that would be best because I don't remember much.
Yeah, no. So we hang out at Stub and Herbs a while, and we make our way back towards downtown. One thing that Mike had on his list is he wanted to take a picture of the iconic Greenbelt neon sign on the Hennepin Avenue Bridge, which is fantastic to see. So we had to make sure to get that done. We took a look at it. Mike took a bunch of pictures. We decided we were going to walk away, and the second we started to walk away, then it lit up,
Yeah.
and so we turned
So we
back
went
around.
back.
Yeah, um,
And then it started to rain, which
yeah,
was not in the forecast.
yeah, yeah. And so then we decided to hike our way over to kind of our final two places of the night, Modest Brewing and Fulton Brewing.
Yeah, we just stopped into Modest real quick. We only had one beer there. The U.S. soccer match was on at that point in time, so we saw a lot of people hanging out there watching the match. I had it was an fooder aged West Coast Pilsner that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. This was, you know what? This was another like tap room in the brewery type of place, and this had like, I mean, absolutely fine, good feel. This is probably the most typical way I see people do the brewery in the tap room
Hmm.
vibe. It works though. Like I feel like I'm saying this in a way like it was shitty. No, it wasn't. It's in an old awesome warehouse. Like it was the warehouse district, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Like so there's a ton of these old warehouse buildings that have been converted into business spaces of varying degrees of so much stuff. Like I mean, I feel like I saw like major like national retailers in some of these buildings too. So like we have a warehouse district here in West Palm Beach. It's fucking terrible. Like and that is not a meant to be a slight at the businesses who are trying their best there. Uh, there is greedy landlords who were trying to bank off of places like probably in Minneapolis, Rhino in Denver is a very big one. And so they're just starting with huge rents to try to bring in small businesses into these converted warehouses and be like, make us a fun neighborhood. Well, no one can really open with those big costs, but I digress. So seeing a proper warehouse district was really fun, and seeing businesses exist there was great to see because the character of the buildings again carries over into the spot.
Yeah, and what's different about like that compared to like Rhino is because you are just right there downtown. Like you're right by the stadium, you're right by
Yes.
everything,
And
right?
Rhino's not in downtown.
Yeah, Rhino's a little bit of a haul, but it is, yeah, it is absolutely. It's fun to see like these old, obviously it's the mill city, so a lot of things like that, but like lumber and furniture, manufacturers and printing companies and all of that have been converted. So yeah, so we stopped in at Modest, and got to see their mash press and kind of see that space. I would agree
I've
with,
never seen one of those before. Like I
Oh
remember
yeah, we were talking about those.
yeah.
I went to the bathroom and then I came back and yous were like, Mike, what do you think that is? And I don't even remember what I answered, but I was so far off.
I'm gonna jump in here. Is that I mixed up Modest and Fulton completely because I was a little bit stoned and could not realize where I was in exact chronology. So now that you mentioned that, now I know exactly where I was, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember that place being exactly like that because I was thinking about the other place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so they're they're also very close. They're like 2 blocks apart, right? So we just walked down a block and across the parking lot, and then we ended up at Fulton. Which the neat thing kind of about the Fulton space is that was originally their only location, and so the kind of the left side used to be like the brewery production space, and the tap room was only on the right side. But now very much divided as if it's two different tap rooms within the same tap room, which is kind of cool.
When we walked in the door, I'm like, "Oh, this place is too busy. We shouldn't come here."
I was like, are we in a club? Like the vibe there was just very different. And then we walked over to the other side, and it was like, oh, this is chill.
Yeah, but like there is a wall that kind of divided it, but you absolutely walk around both sides of the wall. I was like, this is insane. But yeah, the soccer match was still on while we were over there, so a lot of people were watching that. I had a 300 IPA. I know that's one of their big beers that they do over there, and it honestly was not what I expect. I had no idea what the beer was. I was just like, okay, I know that this is a popular beer for them, and I'm like, oh, this is a very traditional malty IPA with like big West Coast flavors going on in it. I'm like, this is excellent. This is perfect for right now.
Yeah, yeah. It was nice to hang out there. Ran into a friend of mine who had left the baseball game, so that was kind of cool. So he got to meet you guys and just kind of had more of a chill kind of nightcap there, if you will.
Yeah.
I've told you guys this before, but I don't think I've ever said on the show. I have been doing a journal for several months and trying to write down a little bit about what goes on in my days. I now have to go back and flop 2 places in my journal because I got them completely mixed up, which is perfect. This is what these conversations are good for.
Yeah, so decided we're gonna call it a night. I gotta hop on the light rail to get home. Kevin and Mike certainly could have walked to the hotel, but they're gonna ride the light rail with me. So we go to Target Field Station right there. They gotta kind of see that cool little courtyard area out there.
Oh, cool.
And at this point, the game is not over. We think we can hop on the light rail.
There was a train at the station, with doors not open, just sitting there, and it was there for like 5 minutes, and then it just left. And we're like, okay. And then another train came. I was like, it felt like Twilight Zone shit.
Yeah, well, it did not help. So while we are there, the Twins hit a tying and go ahead home run in back to back at bats. And we're like directly underneath where the fireworks go off.
Yeah, the scoreboard.
Right? Yeah. And so And so the first one goes off like, well, that's a home run. I guess they just tied it up. And then right away, oh, that's a home run. I guess they took the lead. And immediately in my head, I'm like, shit. Please let this train take off before it gets packed, please. And then, right, what happens is when that happens, they hold the train for a little bit. So when we got on the train, it was pretty empty. But by the time it left the station, it was quite full.
They waited for the game to be over and all the people to start kind of flushing into the train. And I mean, I want to say we sat there for 20, 30 minutes, right? Just on the train itself, right? It was a while. And I mean, listen, that was at the end of the day, that's a minimal, problem for us. I mean, we were all ready to go home. At least I shouldn't say that. I was ready to go home. I know Mike enough that I looked at him and like, you're done, right?
Yeah,
and
he's
Mike's done. But we ended up, it was really cool though, to be outside of Target Field, see the fireworks go off above the scoreboard, hear the roar of the crowd. As we were walking by the stadium, you can look into the stadium and you don't get a good view, but you can look into the stadium from like walking to the train. That's just a really cool vibe. I liked everything about that. I hope the next time that we go, we can take in a game at the stadium. That would make me really happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. There would have been plenty of seats available for us at that game. But yeah, Target Field, like I said, they built it with the quote unquote knot holes. So many places you could peek in. Yeah, you couldn't get a good view of the game, but you could see a lot of the stadium from outside.
I do want to add, so this is like 10, 11 o'clock at night. We are still wearing the clothes that we started our day at. Yes, that we played baseball. So Kevin and I like got up, put these clothes on, came to Tim's neighborhood. We never went back to our hotel during the day to like change, shower, anything like that. We're still going. We still have our baseball, our backpacks with our baseball gloves in them, Kevin and I. And
I'm still wearing my Kirby Puckett jersey, so everyone thought I was at the game, or I was just wearing my Kirby Puckett jersey to play baseball.
You had it all planned out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know we were going to end the night right there by Target Field, right there at the end of the game. Like it was this confluence of events. Yeah.
It was really cool. I mean, listen, at one point I was very tired and I wanted to be back at the hotel sleeping, but I also just enjoyed the moment there and being outside the field. It wasn't my team going up and hitting back-to-back home runs to win a game, but damned if it wasn't cool to be outside the stadium and see the fireworks go off and hear the roar of the crowd and so many people thrilled that their team won. That was awesome.
You know, there are so many people who would look at that as like such a huge inconvenience that they're like, I'm trying to get to where I'm going and this train isn't going to go. And you know what? Were we inconvenienced? Yeah.
But we weren't mad about it.
But no, it's like, you know what? We're just taking in a moment here. Like it becomes a story, like a story that we are telling on this podcast. And, you know, sharing stories with one another and being able to talk about that time that you got stuck at the train station in front of a baseball stadium because the baseball game, the operators were waiting for the game to finish and then people to pack in. Like it's something you're going to tell. Like, so those types of things, like, yeah, I don't mind. And like, was I dead tired? Yeah. But we got to our station.
So you literally had like one stop.
It was two stops.
Two stops.
But still, yes, we could have walked that, like you said.
Yeah, but I told you to, but you're like, no, we'll see you out because I live, a half a mile from the light rail, but that was my transportation to and from. So I really appreciated that. Side note, you guys have not talked about how awesome your hotel was.
Oh yeah, we stayed at the Rand Tower, and it was it's a very Great Gatsby like feel in there.
Classic feel, and even like the redesign of the hotel rooms to make them more modern still keep with the vibes of yesterday. It was really cool. I mean, and it was also less than a block off the light rail. It just worked out perfectly for us.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that expensive. I mean, everything about it just made perfect sense.
It was
And-
literally the epitome of just a place to sleep, because we really didn't spend much time there other than that.
I mean, I would have loved to hang out in the hotel bar. It looked really
I would have
cool.
too.
It did look really cool, and I was excited because I live here. I don't know the hotels, so it's always fun when people come and stay at a hotel and I get to go see it. Because why would I stay at a hotel? I just go home. So it was kind of cool because I'd never seen what that remodel looked like. And you're right, it has a very classic look. It maintains a lot of the integrity of the original building, but all of the rooms are updated. Right? It did not feel like old hotel. They threw down new carpet and slapped some new paint and called it good. It looked like it was a new build of old style, but it is an old building. So it was a lot really cool to see.
Well, I mean, listen, when Mike and I got home every night, we'd walked so much and gone to so many great breweries. We were just like, okay, it's time to go to bed. Right.
Friday, we and I did not have my phone on me while we played baseball, so this is different. But Friday we walked 21,000 steps, or at least I did, according to my phone. And what I have found is that roughly 10,000 steps is about 5 miles. So little over 10 miles of what was tracked. Yeah, that tracks to me.
Well, the next day, I think we were all feeling it a little bit, right? I mean, I had a little bit of tinge in my back and my side, my lat muscles from swinging, my feet,
shoulders.
Yeah. But
calves,
nothing too bad. I mean, I was okay to move around because we spent another day, because we spent some of the day in St. Paul the day before, but we spent a good portion of the day in St. Paul again. The next day, the last full day that we had there. I mean, first we went by we got into town, into St. Paul a little bit early, and one of the places you wanted to take us, Tim, wasn't even open yet.
Yep.
And then we ended up just kind of walking by the minor league baseball stadium, which I was disproportionately thrilled about because I love minor league baseball stadiums. And one that is in a major city center is just the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I was just infinitely excited about the fact that a AAA ball club can be like, yeah, you're getting called up to the majors. Jump on the light rail and go over to the stadium with your gear. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is light rail stop to light rail stop. It's amazing that AAA to Major League
terminus to terminus.
Yeah, the way that works is great because it's there close by Union Station. So not only did we get to see, I really wanted you guys to see CHS Field because I think it's really cool, and you get a great view of the stadium from right there. Again, kind of like Target Field. Yeah. There's just this huge opening for you to be able to look into, as well as the Baseball Scouts Hall of Fame plaques that we gotta look over. But it's literally, when I say it is steps from the St. Paul Farmers Market, I don't mean it's a block or it's 100 yards. I mean
it's in it. Almost.
It is. It is a shorter distance than half of the hits that I had on the baseball field the day before. It is that close. It is right there. So Farmers Market is popping because it's at this point. It's a Saturday, a gorgeous Saturday, right? So Farmers Market's packed. We get to take a look at that stadium, which is cool to just be able to share that place because that's relatively new within the last 10 years, and it's really neat to see. And it's right there, and it's also right there by Union Station.
And we popped in Union Station, and Mike was able to take some photos, which was super cool.
And they had a craft fair going on there, or a craft festival.
But Union Station is every bit what you kind of picture when you think of old classic train station. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
super high ceilings, right?
Yeah.
Old classic, column architecture. Honestly, similar vibe to the hotel that you guys were staying at in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? Like similar type of like era, really kind of neat architecture in there, activity going on, a really cool bar. We didn't hang out at that bar, but that was
Yeah.
really cool there, and the out as well as the outdoor bar, and they have a couple of food trucks out there and everything. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I was really happy to get to see an old train station. I love trains, so I like to see an old head house the way that God intended them to be, if I will. It was great. Yeah.
Still waiting to see some pictures on that. I'm hoping.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not super thrilled by a lot of them with the way that they came out. There's one that I do really like that I'm still playing around with. So we'll see what comes of that.
Kevin even took some pictures
Well,
in there as well.
I took videos to show Jad, my son, and my wife. I wanted them to see like some of the places that I went to. Yeah, that was a great place to visit. I love stuff like that. And then we went on to Gambit Brewing. That was
Yeah.
our first brewery stop, which was really cool. It was kind of below street level. But it's
Mike has to pop out. Yeah. So Gambit is actually, so we walk over. It's also kind of right. Like you had to cross the light rail tracks, and you actually go down. Like it's not like going all the way down like into Cheers, but it's almost like going into a comedy club type of vibe.
Similar vibe, right? And that was really cool. And this was, the vibe in that place was very, dingy kind of bar kind of stuff, right? Like I liked it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a negative. That's something I actually look forward to. Like the hole in the wall pub is the place that I feel the most comfortable, quite frankly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we sit down. The bartender was maybe the nicest human being on the planet.
Yeah.
He was talking to us about Monty Python and Weird Al Yankovic and all this other stuff in baseball. Lots of talk about baseball.
Like as many obscure baseball references as you can make too. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the nicest dude. And by the way, and the important thing with this is it wasn't intrusive. It wasn't like he was like inserting himself into our conversation. He was just asking questions and being engaging. And
I mean, there were only like three other people in there at the time too. So
yeah. So he was just a gem. That guy was great. He made me feel so welcome in that spot. And we only had some beers there, and the beers there were really freaking good. I just pulled up their tap their list. We definitely had the 12th January West Coast Pilsner, which I really liked.
Yep.
Someone had the Laughing Storm Dark English Mild.
That was Mike. Yeah.
Who do you think it was?
Did someone else have the Black Alt?
That was also
Mike also had the Black Alt. Yep,
for sure. Yep. Do you remember what you had there, Tim?
I had the table beer, the Saison table beer.
Yes, the Saison was very good.
Yeah, it was really good. That's their award winner.
Okay.
But yeah, so as Kevin said, it's more like underground bar, like because you don't see a brewery. It's in a super old building, and it's a brew pub license, right? So they operate. They have a full bar. They've got liquor. You could get a cocktail, full menu, hot dogs, pizza, like
true underground, true like basement.
Spot. Yeah. And so it does not feel like a brewery. Like if you were to just stumble upon there, you would not go, "Oh, this is a brewery." You would say, "Oh, this is a bar," right? And so it is the least like everything else we had gone to.
That's a place that you can walk into and lose track of the time of the day.
Oh, easily.
Like, yes, there are some windows or at the front when you're coming in.
Yeah.
But man, like I could see myself, like if I were in my 20s, like going in there when it's daylight and walking out like, what the fuck happened during, like to the rest of the day?
but yeah, it had a, if a dive bar meets a bookstore, meets a record store, meets a comedy club, meets a coffee shop, meets a like it like it has all of that type of vibe in there, which is nice. And it's not a big space. It's intimate, but it's not like, it's not as loungy as maybe I'm making it sound, but it is definitely, like like you said, Mike. Like if we didn't have other places to be, I probably would have spent way too much time there.
Back in the day, like many, many, many years ago, downtown West Palm Beach used to have a coffee shop called the Underground Coffee Works. That
Mhm.
was like, we don't have basements in Florida because the water table is so high up. This was a basement location in downtown West Palm, and I remember going there a few times in like my early 20s with people, and like it was just like a hip hangout area too, as well as a coffee shop. They'd have like open mic nights, poetry slams, all types of shit like that. And like that when we were walking down, I'm like,
Yeah,
anytime I'm walking down into a place, I immediately get like feels. And then when we were hanging out in there, and there was like a wall of vinyls, and
yeah,
like they have a little tiny stage for stuff. I was like,
right.
oh
DJ
man, this
booth
is
and
giving me,
like low ceilings, right?
oh yeah, like this is giving me Underground Coffee Works vibes like all over the place. And like, and I mean that in the best possible way. Like yeah, the
But also,
beers were solid. The bartender was ultra solid with just how welcoming and nice that he was. And just again, the location, just God, why does every spot up there have such great bones about them? That
yeah, like even just like, even though it's a quest to go to the bathroom, but it's in, so
it
yeah,
was.
but like, so Kevin and
Multiple
I,
keys, and you have to. There's a
You had
key,
a
yeah.
and then there's
fob
this.
and
Yeah, a
then a
fob.
pin pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's when I had made the joke about there's a troll with three riddles, and that's when he brought in the Monty Python, and we're like, literally, we were just talking about Monty Python like 20 minutes ago, so this is perfect. Um, but Kevin had asked me before we got to downtown St. Paul, because when we'd done Blackstack before, that's not downtown St. Paul, right? And
Yeah.
so this was downtown, and he said, "What's the difference between downtown St. Paul and downtown Minneapolis?" And I was like, "Downtown Minneapolis has a little bit more of kind of a modern vibe, and downtown St. Paul has more of like an old world type of thing." So it's definitely this old kind of historic building type of thing going on, but it literally feels like you're just going into some, I don't want to say speakeasy, but like some little like like urban, but like old world urban building type of thing. Which is why I said it's almost, Cheers esque, like not quite like that, but like an older, like St. Paul almost feels like an older city than it is in that way. And that place almost felt like a bar that would fit an older city as well. It's less, I don't know, cosmopolitan or whatever.
Oh, I fuck with the architecture of St. Paul. Like,
Yeah.
like there's some brutalist stuff in there, which like I know that there's a lot of people who don't like brutalist, but there are some buildings that are brutalist that look beautiful, and St. Paul has some of them. And I it's funny, my comparisons to cities all the time are always to Philadelphia because it's what I know. And I feel like if you take Minneapolis and St. Paul and blend them together, their downtowns, you pretty much have Philadelphia. Like you have all of that older historic feel of St. Paul with the modern skyscrapers of Minneapolis and some of that old working class going on. You blend that all together, and like god damn it if it isn't like a Philadelphia type of feel to it.
Well,
And it's just like wonderful architecture. uh like yeah, St. Paul's downtown vibe, I loved a lot. Like I mean everything I loved in those both those cities was great, but I kind of dug St. Paul's architecture a bit more.
But like the cool thing about this trip is that you got to see two proper downtowns, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of times you go on a vacation, like even larger cities, particularly on the West Coast, uh they're big cities, but they don't have like a good proper downtown. And both Minneapolis and St. Paul have good proper downtowns.
Especially cities that goddamn close to one another.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that is not something that you see super often. And like to have major metro areas like colliding with one another, and to have both have big downtowns, but also have such unique vibes going
Well,
on.
yeah, because the cities proper literally touch, right?
Yeah.
Like at one point, you asked me when we were going by the Minnesota United State station, are we getting into the heart of St. Paul? And I was like, honestly, when you're in St. Paul, you're already in the heart of St. Paul. Like there's not really, you know, the 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 acreage of both cities is so kind of compact, right? And as much as we have these neighborhoods, like my neighborhood sort of feels suburban, but it is Minneapolis proper. But at the same time, like everything on those light rail routes is Minneapolis and St. Paul. There's not, you know, you're obviously not in downtown, but the difference from once you leave downtown Minneapolis till you get to downtown St. Paul is just sort of contiguous city. Like you never felt like you left the heart of anything, frankly, right? And so it is really cool to do that. And so to go to a place like Gambit and to be able to also walk by, because we walked by the Capitol and the government building and
Parliament, Big Ben,
yeah, cathedral, but we also walked by the Grand Casino, formerly the X, and we gotta walk. We gotta see a lot of other things in the little downtown parks. That St. Paul has a lot of downtown parks, which is kind of cool. And so definitely two different vibes, but at the same time, again, those downtowns are so close, and the cities touch. Right, there's nothing in between them. That they're so different but so alike at the same time. It's pretty cool. I don't know why you didn't see. I just did Trump hands on.
I loved it. I love being in the two cities, and it was a really interesting experience. I do want to move on to the fact that we went to Bad Weather next. Let's get back to the next brewery we went to, and this was important because this was the United We Drink meetup. Right. It was all building up to. And we went to Bad Weather for this. And Bad Weather, another brewery I just loved. It had that, it was the in the brewery kind of vibe, but I don't know if it's just because it was the temperature outside. They had all the big roll up doors open. It was
like
elements. Yeah. And I think we probably, because we were there for a while, I think we had everything on draft there. I think between all of us. And I just, to be the guy that talks about the beer, the Baltic Porter was fantastic. Rye of the Storm, a rye IPA, amazing. Yeah. I like the Hopchromancer a lot. Mm-hmm. I think, Tim, the Sun Pillar was a beer that I think that was the first beer you got, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Just, beer after beer, enjoying every single one of them. And then we got to hang out with some people that we had on the show. And even though we had been, to their breweries, we hadn't seen them yet.
We didn't see them at their breweries.
We didn't see Sam at Sisyphus because he had already left because their flight got delayed in because of an odor on the plane, apparently. And we didn't get to see Eric at Black Stack because we got there like a half hour after he left because he had dinner plans in Northeast with his partner. So we had missed them both at both of their respective breweries, but they both made sure to make an appearance, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was so great to hang out with both of them. And again, first time I got to meet Eric in person. Eric is a 2-time guest on this show. a dude who we have been following each other for many years as well. He's just like one of those great, solid people in life, like not just in beer, but in life. Like the dude supports the arts, whether that be music, artists, photographers. Like I love everything that Eric stands for. And then, I mean, Sam provides a space for art in his brewery as well with comedians. So, like, these are just two solid people who just mean so much to our world environment, let alone the beer community. So, getting to hang out with them, it sucks that we didn't get to hang out with Andy Brewer from the Bad Weather. He was out with his family, which is the only reason to get to not hang out with us is to spend time with your family.
I mean, it's Minnesota on a weekend. Everyone's at the cabin, so it totally made sense.
So I mean, I had the Heritage Lager, which was a collab with August Shell. I like get to have another Shell beer in my system, a 3.9% Bock that was so full of flavor, and like you could, if you just handed me that beer and told me to drink it, I would have never come under 5.5% if you told me to guess an ABV on that. 3.9, like holy shit. Like it was beautiful beers. That Rye of the Storm was another highlight to me. Like when I scoped out the tap list heading before we even got into Minneapolis, I was like, all right, that lager and that rye IPA, those are beers that I'm gonna have.
Yeah,
Those are happening.
Kevin, I probably watched your post on the Barrel of Monks page about that rye like 7 times because you just seemed like I could see giddiness in your face drinking that rye.
Well, I mean, thank you for saying that. I genuinely enjoyed so much beer on this trip to the point that the best thing I can say about a beer is that when I drink it, I go, "Why aren't we making this?" Right? And I had so many beers on this trip where all I'm thinking is, "My God, what's our next specialty beer? What do we have a tank open? Can we just make this right now?" Because I do think I have an incredible brewer in Ralph that can, put together a recipe, and I am always inspired by people who are working with beer styles that are not in the mainstream at this point. And that was the thing. And I think I started this podcast off talking about it. So many breweries had things like a rye IPA, and it's something that's a passion project. I hope it does really well for them in Minneapolis and St. Paul, but even if it doesn't, I have a feeling it's just something that they love and they want to do, and the right people will appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the cool things I got out of this trip is like one of the things that we've all decried on this podcast is how there's been sort of a level of sameness in craft beer, and like we've started to kind of get boring and all of that stuff. One of the cool things I got out of your trip here, I mean, obviously the big thing with you is hanging out with you guys, and we could have literally just never left my backyard. It would have been the best weekend ever. But as far as my appreciation for the craft beer scene here was like just because I don't go out to that many places, right? Like I took you to places I go to, but I don't go there that often. I for the most part, it's my
I can't imagine that you go to a lot of those places in St. Paul all that often.
I don't go to seven breweries in an entire month, let alone one weekend. But was the sheer breadth of styles that you guys got, and it made me feel, and we didn't even hit up some of the breweries we had talked about or some of the breweries I wanted to go to, but the sheer breadth of styles that we saw across those 7 breweries, like it was a lot wider kind of array of styles and profiles than even I appreciate. And so it was really cool that you guys kind of helped like make me remember that, holy shit, we're doing not only are we making really good beer here, we're making a lot of different kinds of beer really well here.
You know,
It's really impressive.
when we were hanging out at Bad Weather, Kevin was talking with Sam about the Dunkelweiss.
Hmm.
And like Sam kind of laughed. He's like, I always got to throw one of those older styles on. It makes that certain demographic of fans always happy. Like the people who come here to have the more eclectic stuff. And like, to me, it just, there's a term that we use in Philadelphia to explain old school people, and we call them old heads. And he could have said like, we do that for the old heads, and
Yeah.
like I would have completely gotten it. And
Tracks.
I love that he has the ability to make something like that for a niche audience and be able to get through it in a reasonable amount of time. Like that's the most important part of it. Is like
Make some
as
money
long
off
as you,
of it.
you can make money off of it, and it doesn't go out of code to where it gets bad. Like
Yeah,
even in your own tap room.
That's the brilliant. One of my favorite things about Sam, right? So when Sam first started out, he has readily said he put up beers that he thought were subpar, but he's like, I'm not going to lose my house. Just, I would love to be ideal and not, not put out these subpar beers for the sake of quality and integrity and all that stuff. But also like, I would also like to live somewhere type of thing. And he got, some flack from some people about that early on. And, he'd start out with like plastic tanks and things like that. And he had made compromises that, the quote unquote more integrity wouldn't do. But what that's allowed him to do, because he has stayed small, right, is that he has that flexibility. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about him, is he didn't ever have these grandiose visions. And he's not like he's like a 5-year-old brewery. He's older than that. He's 10 years into the game. Like he's learned to stay small and give himself that flexibility. And that's what's really cool. I was really happy, Kevin, you in particular, like at one point you were asking Mike and I questions. I was like, who could answer that question for you is Eric Hild.
Oh, yeah.
You should ask him that question when you get there, right? Or you got a chance to talk to Sam, who's, relatively new listener to the podcast, but like you got a chance to actually talk shop with these guys too, not just to hang out and socialize and all that stuff. That was really cool for me.
Really cool for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to look over and I took a picture of you, and a few pictures of you and Eric talking about processes on certain beers. And like, I haven't heard you, Kevin, talk process on beer like that in such a long time. And it made me so happy because like you were a brewer first. And like, I don't want you to ever lose that about you. And hearing you talk with a very good brewer about stuff was so fun. From just like the peripheral, seeing like, oh, Kevin's back in his kind of spot here. And like, and I know you would say like, I had no idea what I was talking about and blah, 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 blah.
Okay,
but,
you guys are both very sweet, and thank you very much. And I did enjoy that. And talking with Eric was fantastic. And what I really need to do is connect Eric with Ralph, so that those guys can talk about some of the things we talked about during that conversation. No, it was lovely. The people in your orbit, Tim, and the places you took us were fantastic. Everyone was so welcoming. And the fact that Sam and Eric both came out to hang out with us and share their knowledge and their passion was just wonderful. I mean, I loved every second of that. That was a great thing to do during our trip, and kind of capped it off in some way, because the next thing we were going to do was go to have dinner.
Yep.
Which was the last night that we were going to be there. What I loved about this was Mike was like, we want to go. Listen, we had great food the entire time. I want to say that. But we did hang out at a lot of more like pubs and more bar food kind of places. And Mike's like, I want to go to like a sit down restaurant and have like an amazing dinner. I don't know how you picked out the place that we went to. You said you hadn't been there before and you heard about it. Turns out it's like was named as like one of the top 50 restaurants in the country by the New York Times and has a world famous chef. We went to a Laotian restaurant. Gai Noi, is that the way to pronounce it?
Gai Noi. Yeah.
And we got some seats at the bar and literally had one of the best meals I've ever had. The best fried rice I've ever had in my life. Laotian sausage with an incredible dipping sauce. Everything was hot and spicy, but not too much. This is a place where if you are in that geographic area and you don't go there, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
I mean, so yeah, we decided, okay, we're gonna each pick something, but we're gonna share. Like, we knew automatically this was not like a get your own meal. We're gonna share this type of thing. But it took us all forever to even like settle on what we wanted to do, because there's like 7 things. Like, their basil wings are what they're known for. We didn't even get those.
We didn't even get those, and I feel bad that we didn't.
But I'm not upset with every single thing we got. Like
Oh no.
It was so good. It was ridiculously good. It like almost made me angry how good it was. Because yeah, I had never been there. I'd heard about it, right? I'd wanted to go. It's a place that literally doesn't take reservations, but there was a line at the door, but there were seats at the bar. It's a place that's
Their
been, like,
wait wasn't that bad. I think it was only 15 or 20 minutes too.
Yeah.
Like, so if we really wanted to get a table, that's not a bad wait.
Yeah, we could have.
There were so many seats at the table at the bar. Yeah.
There's so many seats at the bar, and I was hungry as shit.
Oh yeah.
But not that the quesadillas at the food truck at Bad Weather, which was the weirdest.
Low-key, okay.
It was a Mexican food truck that also had like Philly cheesesteaks and like I also
burgers.
got burgers, and I also got like mini donuts.
They were delicious too.
Yeah, they were really, really good. But yeah, it was fun to kind of do this little 3-person communal meal type of thing and sharing all this stuff back and forth. Because, like, you know, single guy, me and my daughter aren't going to go there. There's all these restaurants I want to go to, but I really don't have an excuse. So you guys give me an excuse to finally try this place. Coworker of mine has gone there with his girlfriend and has talked a lot about it. I've wanted to go, and so to be able to finally do that, I'm already just trying to figure out another excuse to go there. It was amazing.
I'm trying to figure out an excuse just to fly in, just to go to that restaurant. I mean, that's how good it was, and how much I want to share that with my wife. To go to that place. It was fantastic. When and if, I'll say when, we come back, we're going there again. I'm sure there's amazing other restaurants, but I want to go there again and try more food because it was that good.
Yeah. Because there's who's the chef that was on Chef's Table from Minneapolis that was doing pizza? It was a woman chef. God.
The young Joni one. God, why am I blanking on her name right now?
Like, Minneapolis is in the echelon. Like the chef for Gai Noi is multi-time James Beard nominated.
Yeah, and Ahmed. But we actually got shut out at the James Beard Awards this year, which is a shame. But
the podcast.
No, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities got shut out at the James Beard Awards. We had several nominees. No one won anything.
Another year, the United We Drink podcast was not nominated for.
But
this is bullshit.
But I mean, like, you know, we've had some amazing amazing chefs here and continue to. And there's a billion other places I would love to take you. You know, when I get hit by a city bus and sue the city and have a lot of money, I will for sure go out to a lot of other places
Hey,
with you.
but if you sued the city and get a whole lot of money, the parks might go down in quality.
I don't know. We could probably just have like
You need to hit it
7 less
on some
cops.
pull tabs.
Okay. There we go.
When you hit it.
I brought that back.
I'll go get hit by a bus in Bloomington. It'll be fine. But yeah, that was definitely one that, you know, Kevin, now that you're looking at houses on Zillow, you can find an excuse to come look at one.
So-
but yeah, that was you know, because there were other places like when Mike had asked about restaurants, I'm like, God, there's just so many. There's so many choices. There's too many choices. It's kind of hard to say, but that one, it was like, you know, Kevin, you had said, I want to have something that is more ethnic, you know, something I'm not going to necessarily get every day type of thing. And while this is not Hmong, like I said, we have a large Hmong. We just have a large Laotian population here, so that certainly plays a part in there. I wanted to find something that would fit a little bit more the Twin Cities flair, and that one, especially for the location and where we were at, it just made sense.
You made such a great choice with that.
Out of the park.
I am still thinking of those sausages. Like everything was fantastic, but those sausages, like I've never had anything like it.
The dipping
sauce. I didn't even need the sauce. Just the snap on those.
Yeah,
the flavor and the sausage was amazing. I mean, everything was fantastic.
The sticky rice was the best sticky rice I've ever had.
And then after that, we capped our night off by going to Mackenzie's pub.
Mackenzie's.
Yeah, Mackenzie, again, one of the original craft beer bars before there was craft beer bars. Just more, you know, what does it say? Like an American pub with Scottish flair or something like that. But yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
I just want to say, like, you walk in the door, pub all the way. I'm looking at the menu. There is Surly Darkness 2025 on tap at this pub. The fucking Knicks are playing the Spurs. It's the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals game that the Knicks eventually won. And like, there's tons of people in there watching this game. And there is a beer on tap in here that people traded children for. They didn't actually, but they traded goddamn beer children. Yeah,
we don't know that.
Yeah,
and like Tim got one.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't great.
Yeah, it had not aged well.
It was not at its best. It was not presenting at its best at that time.
It was not, but I still don't regret getting one. So
I also in retrospect I believe I might have insulted the bartender that night, because he looked at us and he goes, "Oh, is it intermission at the show next door?" And Trey Anastasio of
Fish was playing next door. Yeah,
and I said to him, "I hate that fucking shit." So, I mean, he was very heavily tattooed, so I'm hoping that he wasn't, but he looked at me like, "Whoa, okay, dude." And I just drank a Hams. He might have spit in it. I don't know. I went to the bathroom after I ordered, and you guys had my beer for me. So you might have been like, put extra spit in there for him.
Yeah, no,
for insulting such the great soul of Anastasia.
Yeah, I mean, there were some interesting shows in town while you guys were there, but that one was right next door. I mean, you guys also, side note, got to see all of our kind of theater scene up and down Hennepin, which is pretty cool.
Oh, those beautiful like
old
light
school
bulb signs.
Yeah,
all the marquees. Yeah.
The Marquise, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we had one last beer there. It was lovely. Listen, it was also sad. I mean, we were leaving,
Yeah.
and I wish I would have had 3 more days. I feel like if we had 3 more days, we probably could have used 6 more days because there's so many things to see and so many places we could have gone. But it was amazing to be there, and that's a trip I will remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That is a foundation. I mean, not foundational because I'm 45 years old, but that is a core memory that I will take with me. I think Tim, you mentioned that in one of the conversations we had, or in a text message,
Yeah.
like talking about core memories, because it was just lovely. And if I could cap it off with one thing, and I know we have to go in last calls at some point because this podcast has been going on for almost 2 hours at this point, but like that, there was your love of your Twin Cities is so warranted. if you taught me one thing, it was that, okay, when Tim starts going off and waxing poetic about all these things, which I, tongue in cheek laugh about,
Yeah.
I'm like, going forward now, I'm going to be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally freaking get it.
I mean, it definitely is a secret gem, and it's exciting when I get to share that with my friends. And so, yeah, man, to be able to hug you guys when I first saw you, and to be able to hug you guys as you left. I mean, I'm not lying. Like, I didn't tear up on the train, but I got home and I got on my couch and I started to get a little misty. Just like, not even like a sad misty, but just like a holy shit, what an amazing, amazing weekend. Uh, and just how grateful, just more misty eyed of just gratitude for that. So yeah, just thank you both so much for coming up. Thank you both so much for uh, uh, literally, you guys both say, "Oh, these are trips that I should do," but this is a trip that you guys actually took the time to make, and you guys initiated this. This wasn't me forcing you guys up here. This was literally you guys.
We forced ourselves upon you.
Yeah, no, it was that was.
Sorry.
In the most
Sorry.
beautiful way.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was so much even more meaningful to me that you guys were just like, we're coming up to see you, Tim. Like that meant so, because I'm so eternally grateful for your guys' friendship that it meant so much to me that you guys did that. But man, I think I mentioned to you both before you even came up. My goal was to make you fall in love with this place so much that you'll want to come back. And I feel like mission accomplished. So yeah,
C.
Yeah.
C forever.
All right, let's head into last calls. The point in the show where we give each other an unspecific amount of time to talk about whatever it is that we want, beverage related or not. The only rules are that it's uninterrupted, unopposed, and unobjected. I've had beverages to drink tonight, and you know what? I'm going to start things off because I should. So there's always something beautiful to me, and I'm just piggybacking off of this entire show. There's something beautiful to me about one's love of where they live. This might be difficult. When Kevin came and visited me in Philadelphia, I loved showing him around. I loved showing him places that I like to hang out at. I like just showing him places that exist. And people's enthusiasm for where they live is infectious. It's infectious as fuck. And I remember the first time that I went to San Francisco with my wife, a place that she had lived for over a decade. and her showing me places, showing me just like, I used to live in that building right there. Like, I love seeing people enthusiastic about the places that they live. And this was just more of that, because I have said to Tim for many years now that I will come visit him. And, I have 2 young kids, and it makes it difficult to make these things happen sometimes. But I'm beyond happy that we made this happen, because I got to see Tim's enthusiasm for the city that he lives in, for the metropolitan area that he lives in, firsthand. And to me, there's nothing better than that. Like maybe in another life, I would have been a tour guide for somewhere, because like I even living in West Palm Beach, a city that I don't want to live in, but I do think is the best possible choice for me in the scenario that I'm in right now. I find the good in it. And if a person comes here, if a person is like, hey, I'm going to be in West Palm, where should I go? I fucking throw the best fucking shit at them that I can, because I want them to have a good time. And Tim absolutely wanted us to have a good time. And any person who loves their city or even likes it to a passing ability and wants people who come there to enjoy it know how to put those people up right. I love this. And from I went to Asheville a couple years ago. I went to Asheville a couple years ago, and I had a great time. But there was no one there actually like showing us around. We kind of like did our own tour on that. We went to, anytime we go to California, we hang out with people who are locals, who show us good spots, and it's a great fucking time. Going to Minneapolis and hanging out with someone who, they're not native, but goddamn it, they're fucking local, and they know what they're talking about. And this was one of the best times that I've had in my life. And I want to thank you, Tim. And I do look forward to bringing my wife and children there someday. That will definitely happen. So yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you to every one of the Twin Cities that I interacted with, because every single one of them is listening to this. This was a beautiful, wonderful experience, and I can't wait to do it again. Whichever one of you wants to jump in next can, by all means, do so.
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna leave the end of this for Tim, because we've been talking all about his hometown, his adopted hometown this time. What I want to say is, if anyone's listening to this, and I'm really saying if anyone's listening to this, because I never know, but be vulnerable, be trusting of the people around you. Don't be afraid to be emotional. Realize that the time you spend with people is precious, and to tell people how you feel, because as men specifically get older, they tend to self-isolate, and they tend to not build the kind of communities that women do. I mean, this is just statistically, I'm not speaking out of turn. Individuals can be different, but averages are averages. It's really, really important for us to build communities, even for friends that live thousands of miles away. And when you build those communities, be vulnerable. Tell people how you feel. Don't guard yourself. Trust other people around you that will have your best interest at heart. We're really guarded in our everyday lives, and we're trained in some ways to like be suspicious of other people and to have to like look out for number one. At the end of the day, other people are good. And when you've known someone for a little while and you get to know their heart in some way, shape, or form, you know what to expect from them. So don't be afraid to tell your friends that you care about them. Don't be afraid to tell people how much you appreciate them and what they're doing. And just be vulnerable. Be yourself. Don't be guarded. I think that's really important.
Boy, just to kind of recap everything, my big thing that I really just wanted to do once again is to just thank you both. It was so neat to finally be able to see you guys in person, right? I was so giddy about this trip ahead of time. Everyone at work knew about about you guys coming. Like I was not shy about telling anyone, and I remember a coworker asking me, "When was the last time you saw them?" And I said, "Never. Well, I've never met them." Right. But the second I saw you guys step off of that train, it just felt normal. Like the cool thing, right? It's so weird how life has changed. And I always kind of joke about the whole internet thing because we all came of age, prior to the internet really being a thing, and internet friend being sort of a weird thing. But the idea that when I knew the second, and I knew before you guys even got here. Like it never once felt like, oh, this is a stranger in my town or this is a stranger here. It felt 100% like it felt like we had already hung out before. To the point where even we're texting Phil while sitting at Stub and Herbs, and that's the best thing, and that's still kind of my favorite thing. But it just felt so natural, and I cannot say enough how much I love you both, how much I'm grateful for you both. Kevin, you're right. Like men do isolate, and the older we get, the harder it is to maintain relationships. I'm so grateful to Sam. Right, Sam and I have become way faster friends over the last 6, 8, 12 months than we were before. And Eric is a guy that hugs me and tells me he loves and appreciates me, and that is so important. And I know he means it, and he's not just saying it as a platitude, or he's not just saying it as a way of saying hello or a goodbye. Like he's written me some really a really important letter once. I got my own things, and they're all 100% my own fault. I don't want to say fault, but like they're my own doing, right? Like I take full responsibility for the situation I am in life. But the way you guys just meet me at where I am as a person and love me as I am as a person and help lift me up has I can't tell you how much it has sustained me this week as I've had, a week at work or whatever, anything I'm going through, like just what last weekend did for me. Uh, uh, you guys met me in a place that I know. I know you guys know what you were doing was a good thing. I don't know that I can express to you how good of a thing it was. It was very meaningful and powerful to me. I I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. The point is I love you both very, very much, and I love that it's not awkward to say that, and I feel love from you guys very, very much. And I cannot wait to do it again. But I know that until then, you guys are literally two of my best friends, and it was, man, I'm going to be living off of this for a while. So thank you both. Just, yeah, it's speechless.
Nah, man. Yeah. Like it. I love you too. Like that. Like if there's anything else to say, I love you too.
Yeah. And I love you too, man. I love both you guys very much. And at the end of the day, we just did a over 2-hour podcast about how incredible this trip was for all of us. And we could talk about the food, and we could talk about the beer, and we could talk about all the incredible things that happened. But we were just together, just spending time together, just being people together and being ourselves. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really resonates. And anyone out there who's, in your lives, in your rat race, find some people around you, do your best to cultivate those relationships, because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I fell backwards into this relationship with you guys, right? You guys had this whole history together, and it's been so funny how much we have in common, and from the podcast we listen to the jokes we make to you guys ordering the same goddamn food all the time. Literally,
well, Mike and I are an old married couple, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but you're also brother cousins. But literally all of the overlap and how just effortlessly it is to be your guys' friend and to accept your friendship is just amazing.
Oh, it's very sweet. And that is one of the kindest things you can ever say to a person, quite frankly.
All right. On that, let's just get the stuff out of the way. If you want to follow our show, check us out on social media at United We Drink on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to listen to the show on the podcast app of your choice, we're on all of those. We're on video form on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I didn't even know that they had video, but we are there now. And if you want to support our show financially, go check out our website, unitedwedrink.com. Check out the Brands We Love page. You buy something from there, and we get a little kickback. We also have our store, unitedwedrink.com/store, for shirts, buttons, stickers, totes, and all that other fun stuff. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks with a brand new episode. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Twin Cities. Thank you to everyone. Love you. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.